This is Bombay, the second largest city in India, and one of the most important seaports in the Eastern Hemisphere. Although from a distance it has the appearance of an Occidental metropolis, behind it all is the real Bombay, with its teeming masses and customs still defying the innovations of Western civilization. Picturesquely gracing the harbor of Bombay are the Taj Mahal Hotel and the celebrated Gateway to India, which was erected in 1911 to commemorate the landing of their Imperial Majesties, King George V and Queen Mary. After passing through this historic landmark, we visit the so-called Hanging Gardens of Bombay. These unique gardens have been built over the city's main reservoir, on top of a solid block of masonry, and they are noted for their unique shrubbery, designed to represent farm and animal life throughout India, including, of course, the perennial Indian elephant. Perhaps there is no racetrack meet in all the world that excels the one at Bombay, where we find the human assembly to be more interesting than the horse racing itself. For here may be seen representatives of practically every nationality, color, and creed, brought together on common ground by the lure of the turf and the sport of kings. Many of the styles in this unique fashion parade emanate from the smartest shops in the Orient as well as the Occident, including the colorful saris worn by the native women, which literally steal the show. A remarkable feature about the Indian sari is the fact that it is a style of dress that has changed very little through the centuries, and it still competes beautifully with the best of the modern garb worn by our ladies of the Western world. And here is what makes horse racing possible. The racing horses that compete at the Bombay track come from the finest stables in the Orient, and they are said to be on a par with the best in the world. There are only a few minutes left to place our bets on this race, and Jack, don't forget that hot tip on number 7. It is this motley conglomeration of types from all over the world that makes a visit to the Bombay racing meet a never-to-be-forgotten experience. Although our interest has been largely focused on the people who parade here, we will at least see the finish of one race before we depart. And here it is. And now, while the lean minority goes back to collect its winnings, we will continue our journey to Delhi, where the all-important religious life of India manifests itself in temples of every kind and description. This is one of the largest and most colorful of them all. On Chandni Chowk, the principal shopping street of Old Delhi, we come face to face with something of the real India and its teeming masses. Here, too, the universality of the motion picture proves itself as a most important factor in the entertainment as well as the enlightenment of the people. This is only one of the many unique devices used in motion picture advertising. And never let it be said that any space is wasted by the theaters of Delhi when it comes to billing their shows. Although motion pictures are one of the few great Western Hemisphere innovations that have been favorably accepted by the masses of India, now and then we see less significant evidences of Occidental influences, such as this ice cream cart. Here is a bit of India on parade. Just a tiny morsel of the millions of people that inhabit a country which is now feeling an upsurge of independence that is attracting worldwide attention. In 1947, their country was divided into two self-governing dominions, now known as India and Pakistan. This beautiful garden, along with the edifice in the background, is part of the estate of the President of the new India. And nearby stands the pretentious series of buildings that were also erected under the regime of the British when they made New Delhi the capital of all India. Although the British have relinquished their direct control of India, the native troops still perpetuate the military training they received under their former rulers, and the pomp and circumstance of old Britain still manifests itself in many ways. This is the President's bodyguard, wearing the style of costume that was made famous by the old Bengal Lancers. Just before leaving Delhi, we were entertained by a group of colorful dancers performing a popular folk dance known as the Garba. Garbas are usually staged by amateurs in different towns and villages during seasonal and religious festivities. This particular group is representative of the social elite, and the costumes they are wearing have been in their respective families for generations. No visit to India would be complete without a trip to Agra to see what is said to be the world's most beautiful architectural achievement, the immortal Taj Mahal. This heavenly masterpiece was built by the great Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in 1665 as a memorial to his beautiful young wife, whose mortal remains now lie buried beneath its marble dome. It is a dream in marble, an architectural triumph that has stood as fresh and as new in appearance as we see it now for almost 300 years. But the great thought about the Taj Mahal is the fact that love was its inspiration, the love of a man for a woman. And whatever we may say or think about Mother India, we must admit that upon her soil, love has built a temple worthy of all mankind. And it is with this thought that we most reluctantly say, farewell to the land of the Taj Mahal.